spice and lemonade. That's what you get when you shout don't jump. I gotta go, yo, go.
Put me up, put me down, put my feet on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Put me up, all and make me happy.
Come on.
Put me up, put me down, put my feet on the ground. Put me up, all and make me happy.
Let me hear you sing. Yeah, Coco Jumbo. Yeah, Coco Jumbo. Yeah. Coco Jumbo. Yeah. Coco Jumbo. Yeah. Coco Jumbo.
Herzlich willkommen zu Tranergy TV, immer noch in der Commerzbank Arena bei der 90er Party und an meiner Seite ist der Sänger, der Mann hinter dem Projekt Mr. President. Schön, dass du hier bist. Thanks, Lazy, for taking some time.
Yeah, no problem, man. Whatever you want.
Lazy, that was an amazing performance. I think that you had the best response from the fans from all the groups. How does that make you feel?
Really? I mean, that's the first time I'm hearing that, so I wouldn't know. I never watch my colleagues their performances because I like to keep mine as pure as possible. And that you say that is new to me. I always think everybody else is better than me.
No, but you guys, I mean, you did notice that. I mean, you came over very well. The response was great from the crowd.
Like I say, to tell you the truth, every show is a new show for me. It's always brand new. It's always a brand new public. So we always try to give them the best we can.
Right. Was this your first performance in Frankfurt?
No, in Frankfurt. You've been here quite a few times in Frankfurt, but this is my first performance in the Commerzbank arena. Yeah, that's good for my bank manager because I'm with the Commerzbank. Keine Schleichwerbung, aber.
But do you remember where else you played in Frankfurt? Was it in little clubs or?
I think we did a lot of open air in Frankfurt. I never remember because for us it was just get out, do the job, get back in the car and go somewhere else and do the same again. So we never really kind of knew where we were. I mean, I can remember like Danny going up on the stage one day and shouting, "Hello, Hamburg!" I said, "Danny, we're in München." that didn't come over very well. So we never know where we are.
So, Lazy, you guys are performing all over the world still. Do you always more or less play the same songs, or does it mix up from place to place? I mean, is there a new kind of a track list, or do you more or less play the same routine?
No, I changed the track list because some things come better than other things. It's only this year that I've kind of stuck with the same track list, but usually I change the track list. Like I say, I always put the new things kind of at the top, right? And I try and keep the Mr. President stuff together. Right, so because I have new stuff as well, which sometimes you've got to kind of get the people ready for it, and sometimes you just don't need to. People are hot anyway, so just do it.
Do you ever play an obscure song from an album, or is it pretty much just the songs that everyone knows?
It's pretty much the hits, because if I'm going to do something new, then it doesn't make sense to do an obscure song that nobody can buy anyway. So I kind of fill that out with something new, and I try to do at least something new a year, right? So this is the first time that I've kind of got one hit that I kind of really like, and that's Tonight. It works, the people like it, and I just said, okay, stick it in there until you get something new.
Up and Away was the first hit of Mr. President. Coco Jumbo was the biggest hit. What do you prefer?
Actually, I love I Give You My Heart, right? Nobody ever talks about that, but that gets the second biggest response ever, because people actually, they sing, they know the lyrics and they sing. And even if I, explain, I break it down to them and I explain it, they're always on the next line before I even finish. So they know it and they love it.
The performance was very cute tonight with Erica on that song, because I think that was with the magic wand. Yeah. Is that something that you came up with, or is that something that Erica came up with?
No, that's actually something that the Mietzerkatze guys came up with. They actually, because I don't know, I get on with the guys from Mietzerkatze that does the 90s. I've done a lot of shows with them. We were pretty good friends. And actually, they were hiding behind the mixing board. And they're like, yeah, don't worry, take that. And we were like, you know, if I'd gone on, I would have taken a lot of things like panties and stuff like that. We do a lot of stupid gags.
You also did a solo performance. You're in very good shape for your age. I mean, how do you keep in shape so well?
Drink a lot of water. That's a lie. No, I actually do a little bit of fitness. I've got to thank my mom and dad for my good genes. Not these ones that I've got on now, but my genealogy. I do keep fit, and I think you'll find that people working in music do look after themselves a little bit more because they have a lot of time on their hands. That's just a pun there, but you know, people in music do seem to look younger because they take care of themselves because they have to present themselves. So that's what I try to do.
You worked with many singers in your career for Mr. President. Now you're working with Erica Kovacs. How much of a joy is it working with her?
She's absolutely brilliant. I mean, she gets it exactly. Actually, she was a kind of emergency singer. All right, I was in Hungary and I didn't have a singer because my singer got stuck at the airport. Somebody called her up and said, "Yeah, do you want to sing?" And I thought, okay, good. I've got a solo set, so I'll just do a solo set and maybe one number from Mr. President and then keep it, do a shorter show. And when I asked her, yeah, do you know this and do you know this and do you know this? Yeah, I know it. I thought, oh my God, okay, good. Let's see how this is going to work. And she killed it. She got on the stage and it was like she was with me 10 years ago. She knew every song, every word, everything.
That's what you probably like to see when, your future partner knows everything so well.
I mean, the thing is, she was a fan. She was a big fan, and you're in this job, and you kind of don't realize how much your fans know. You think your fans are like they're fans for the time that you're a star, and then when you're gone, that's it. It's over. They've got somebody else. But fans, if you're fans are basically forever. As long as your music lasts, your fans are gonna last.
Lazy, how do you explain this resurgence of the 90s music? It seems like in the last years it's gone higher and higher and it's getting more popular. How do you explain that?
Basically because the 90s was really the best time it was the best economical time. It was the best time for music on a whole.
Remember videos?
Yeah. Those days you had a video TV, MTV played videos. Right, you even had a station that opened up specially for the 90s, and Viva was that station, and they only played video. So everything was geared around that kind of media, and there wasn't like MP3s and blah 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 and this. It was records, vinyl, and CDs, and that's all it was. Right, and if you wanted to see the artist, you watched MTV, and that was it.
What do you miss most from that time? You guys were so successful.
Tell you the truth, I don't really miss anything because I'm the kind of guy that kind of likes to move on. The only problem is where is it moving on to? Because there is so much music out there right now that I think that's the reason also why the 90s are coming back, because there's just so much of it out there. Music is very, very short-lived. It's like you hear a song today and it's gone tomorrow.
Tonight, Snap was here. They had already massive hits before you guys had your first hit. Yeah. What was your? How did you grow up with Snap? I mean, before you had your first hits, I mean, how important were they for you?
They were very important because they filled my dance floor. I used to be a DJ, right? So, I had the kids would come in, right? So I would play a commercial set. I had to have Snap. I had to have The Power. I had to have Oops Upside, and I had to have the one that they always play. I can't remember it, but they had so many hits. But there were 3 hits that I always had to play. And even when I stopped being a DJ, anybody asked me, "What do you want to play for a bit?" "Oh, okay, no problem." I always grab a Snap record, and I grab a Dr. Alban record, and I grab a Hathaway record. And those are the guys that I know well, and their hits are strong.
You guys all stick together? I mean, when you meet each other at other gigs from your colleagues from the 90s?
Yeah, definitely. I call if anything's happening, and I'm like if I know that I'm going to, like for example, Moscow, I know that Albin's always there, and I know that Hadaway's always there, so I'll give them a call. Are you in Moscow? Okay, maybe we can meet up. And I mean, if they have, anything interesting, they'll call me and Delroy, we're looking for a singer, or do you need a singer, or do you have this, or do you have that? So we kind of interchange, intermix, and it's like a small family.
Who do you get along best with?
I get on with those three guys equally well, right? Dr. Albin is a really nice guy. Hadaway's like my brother. And then, of course, you got Snap. Penny is a great girl. And the rest of everybody else are just cool.
When you heard the finished version of Up and Away, did you know it would be a hit?
The finished version. In fact, that was the rock version, right?
Well, I mean, what we know, the dance floor version. I mean, there was
a kind of hard rock version. And when I heard it, I thought, could they really do this? And it was brilliant. I thought it was great. I thought it was out of this world.
Why did you guys, from the first album was Dance Floor and the second album was in Coco Jumbo and it was different kind of music. Why did you guys do that?
Basically, the producer wanted to do more pop, right? And our last record from the Up and Away album was a pop track. It was Gonna Get Along Without You Now. And we wanted to kind of make something more on those lines, proper songs. And I mean, we just wrote just loads of songs. We didn't know what was going to stick, so we just kept on writing and writing and writing. And when the first song came along, it was Coco Jumbo. They told, we've got to do Coco Jumbo. I hated it. I said, guys, where are you going with that shit? Coco Jumbo. I wanted to do cool stuff. I was saying, that Coco Jumbo, that's not cool. And it was after a while that it started to grow, and that what we thought we were going to, what we wanted to do actually happened. So, we had fun.
Yeah, I remember listening to it. I heard it a lot in the States. I mean, it was a big hit in the States. Why do you think that song is so loved still now?
I think at the time, number one, it was because everybody was on the hardcore dance tip. It was kind of a techno beat, Euro dance. And we broke from that tradition and brought something, especially on the German market, brought something kind of laid back and chilly and summery that everybody could sing, right? There were two records that did that, and that was Margarita and Coco Jumbo, right? And I was kind of amazed that everybody actually got Coco Jumbo. I thought, that's never going to happen, right? And it was amazing how it happened. It just happened.
For me, the best 5 dance floor acts were Snap, Culture Beat, Two Unlimited, La Bouche, and you guys, Mr. President. Why do you think are you guys timeless? Why were you so successful? Because you guys really stuck around for a long time.
Yeah, well, I think we gave something to the world that was timeless. Each band that you mentioned had at least one song that you hear in every club, pub, garden party. It was because it's the signature of the 90s. Right, Snap had their signature, La Bouche had their signature, and everybody had a massive hit, and each one of us had a worldwide hit as well. And that's why if it's not happening over there, it's happening over there. So we were always on the move. We were never non-stop. We always kept moving.
With looking back at some of the rappers, you're coming out. You just finished a new song under your name. Tell a little about that. A little promotion.
I did one a couple of years ago called Tonight, which I played here tonight, and I always try and do at least a song a year. Right. This time I'm doing a song with Erica. Right. That's why because we want to push Erica a little bit because she's very, very talented and she's absolutely great on stage. So I want to give her her own song, and we're doing a song together, which is she's gonna be good. It's with a Polish producer, and later on we're doing a song together with a Hungarian producer. So we're kind of mixing it up a little bit.
We're almost at the end, Lazy. When I was researching for this interview, I had to check YouTube, and a certain show Harold Schmidt from 1998.
Oh yeah.
That famous performance with you and your 2 ex-singers.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What do you remember most from that? And maybe talk a little about it for those that don't remember it.
Oh, that was when the girls did their Playboy thing. Tell you the truth, that was for me a little bit obscure. I mean, we're musicians, and management got a little bit too involved and too enthusiastic about the fame that we had, and wanted to exploit it in different directions. And it was great that they did the Playboy shoot, but the interview that followed, that didn't need to be, because we stick to the music. That's what we do. We don't take our clothes off, and that was the point where I kind of went, okay, management, a little bit over the top. The girls didn't sell themselves very well, because the talk show hosts like Harold Schmidt, you don't go, it's his show. You don't go over the top and try to make him look small. It doesn't work. It's not polite and not very clever. And although they kind of got out of it at the end, I went not really that happy with it.
Was it a pretty insane situation with the groupies back then?
Well, basically, actually, we worked so hard that we didn't. Groupies for us was like I never knew anything about groupies. We were non-stop on the road. There was no time for anything in between. I was solo for a long time. In fact, when I started Mr. President, I was married, so I didn't play around, because I had my family. I just couldn't wait to get back to them, right? And because I wasn't messing around like the other guys, everybody thought I was gay, right? And that for me was like, yeah, okay, if they think I'm gay, then that's cool. I won't say nothing about it, because don't rock the boat. You're getting out of this scot-free. It was only after Bravo wrote something, thought that I was gay, and wrote about it in the Bravo, that I thought, oh shit, maybe I should do something, right? But yeah.
Two more questions. Who would win a rap contest? You, Turbo B, or BG the Prince of Rap?
Well, I'm out of it, because I'm not a natural rapper. I like to write, right? But it's between BG and Turbo, and because I know Turbo's skills, I think Turbo would be the man. I think Turbo would put BG under the table. But like I said, I haven't heard BG for a long time.
Your accent, you're from the States, right?
No, I'm British.
You're British, okay. So they don't celebrate any 4th of July there.
We don't do. Well, I wouldn't do it even if I was American, because it's
commercial.
No, it's not. I don't. There's certain things that I keep away from. I keep away from Christmas, Easter, and all those satanic fests. But I don't want to get into that.
Lazy, thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah,
it took me 21 years to finally see you live. I never saw you live before.
Really?
And it was a great show.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm glad you got the best of me. Thanks very much.